everybody, and welcome to Full Range Wrestling Recap. I am your host, Most Valuable Pat, and this is going to be our recap of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown for the 5th and 6th of March of 2018. This is actually going to be a really short one because Raw and SmackDown were actually pretty freaking boring this week. Oh my god. I mean, they have this big road to WrestleMania coming up, right? And they never have any good shows before WrestleMania. I mean, they should have had a good SmackDown today, but we didn't. And so this is going to be not a very long episode. So as you can tell, the disappointment in my voice of how disappointed I am in these two shows for the week. So let's just go ahead and get this thing started. Um, Raw. What happened on Raw? Well, Kurt Angle came out in the beginning of Raw and he was calling out Triple H, and then Stephanie comes out and she does her little ramble. It was about 15 minutes or so talking, and they officially made their match at WrestleMania where it was Angle and Ronda versus Triple H and Stephanie. Obviously, I've said that for a couple weeks now. So obviously, it makes sense. So that's good. I'm glad that actually happened. They have a good rivalry. I think Triple H and Kurt Angle have been in the ring before, and Kurt Angle still can wrestle, not all the time, but he can still wrestle. Triple H the same way. He can still wrestle, just not all the time. So hopefully it's a good match at WrestleMania. I like to see Ronda actually perform against Stephanie and see what happens. So I mean, we'll see what happens from there. Next was Nia Jax versus Asuka. Guess who won? I'll wait for it. Asuka! Hey, look at that, stupid. I mean, I'm so tired of seeing Nia Jax get completely screwed out of these victories and all that kind of shit. It's annoying as fuck. I mean, if you can look at any Asuka match, you know she's gonna win every single match. It's not if you place bets, wouldn't even be fair. If you place bets down on who's Asuka's gonna beat, it's stupid. Makes no sense. They actually did have one or two solid matches on Raw, and one of them was a Revival versus the Bar, and the other one was Elias versus Braun Strowman. I want to talk about Elias, or I want to talk about the Bar versus Revival. Thank the Lord that they put these two teams against each other, because Revival, I think it's actually those two, Bar and Revival. I mean, Luke Gallows and Anderson are okay, but they're kind of more with Finn now. I think these two are the best tag teams on Raw, and I'm just praying. Again, I've said this before. I'm just praying and hoping that they bring up a couple tag teams from NXT after WrestleMania to compete with the Bar and Revival, because they only have two. I mean, they have a decent amount of SmackDown, like I've said, but they only have two on Raw, which is dumb. So, these two are the best ones by far, and the Bar ended up winning the match. But hopefully, we see a rivalry come up between the Bar and Revival at WrestleMania. That might be a good match to see for the championships, but we'll see about that. And then the other one I want to talk about was, um, it was Elias versus Braun Strowman, and this is just, it makes him so much fun. It really does. Braun Strowman gets on the piano, and then he slams the piano into Elias, and then he hits him with a cello or a bass or whatever the hell that instrument was. I don't know. I wasn't a band geek in high school, so I don't know what any of that stuff is. But he just completely destroys Elias. And it's so fun to watch him. It really is. It's just too bad he's not in WrestleMania yet. I really don't like the fact that he's not in there, but those are the two best matches of the night by far. No questions asked. They had a Goldust versus Cena match. I mean, come on. Is that how desperate they are to have a Goldust versus Cena match? I mean, Jesus, it's ridiculous. So the ladies, it was Bayley versus Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose lost. Quick pin, lose. I mean, come on, Jesus. At the end of the night, though, they had Miz come out and he was doing his Mizzies because the Oscars were this weekend, so he did the Mizzies, which, I mean, it was okay, I guess, because they were saying like, they had one for worst decision by a Raw general manager, which was pretty funny. The best to pat themselves in the back, that kind of stuff was pretty funny. Some of it was pretty funny, and Then he starts bragging about how he's going to be the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion ever, 55 days and all that kind of stuff. He's going to lose it before WrestleMania or at WrestleMania, I guarantee you that. But that's what he was saying. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to have 55 days until I beat Pedro Morales' record of the most most days in Intercontinental Championships." And then Miz and Finn Balor or Seth Rollins and Finn Balor come out and start talking all their junk, and then it turns into a 3 versus 2 handicap match where Miz, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel versus Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, which is actually another decent match, I guess. Again, um, Seth Rollins and Finn Balor did end up winning the match again, but I mean, it wasn't really a shocker. He's just gonna keep on losing, I guess, until WrestleMania, where he loses his Intercontinental Championship, and then he's gonna go do another movie. Paul Heyman came out at the end. This is at the end, and the end was just ridiculous. Paul Heyman comes out and starts talking about how, of course, Brock Lesnar is the best, and because, of course, that he's going to be there next week, and, he didn't think that Roman Reigns was around. The promos that he does are good. I like the promos that Paul Heyman does. Paul Heyman is one of the best promo guys in the world. He really is. I like him a lot. But everything he says just kind of gets more and more predictable. And that's one thing that I really do want to talk about after I get done talking about this is the predictability of WWE at the moment. But I'll talk about that in a second. Reigns comes out, surprises Paul Heyman. Shocker, he's there. And he starts talking about how he said true things last week. He said he'll be here next week. He'll be here next week also. So have Brock come out for a fight. And then, Heyman just basically just leaves the ring. And that he wants the champion to come home from work or to come to work and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, and that was the end of Raw. I mean, Heyman walks out of the ring and it's done. It's over. Like, come on, really? I mean, this is boring. This is not. The predictability of wrestling nowadays is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous how predictable wrestling is right now. If you've been watching wrestling for more than like 10 years, you could probably figure out what's going to happen without any problems at all. Ronda Rousey's probably going to go undefeated for a while. Asuka's going to go undefeated for a while. Then they're going to clash at some point, maybe at like next year's WrestleMania or something like that. And Cena versus Undertaker at WrestleMania, that's kind of obvious because Undertaker's got to have an opponent. So I mean, why not be Cena? I mean, I don't understand why they can't just shake things up a little bit and do something different. Not have like Reigns is gonna take Brock's title. Asuka's gonna take Alexis's title. Somebody's gonna beat Miz. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just so predictable. And who knows what's gonna happen every other time? But I mean, who cares? I mean, who's Charlotte Flair gonna fight against? You know what I mean? Ruby Riott? I mean, come on. They don't. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm getting kind of tired of this, how predictable this is. When I watch wrestling, I'm streaming. So, thank God that I'm streaming because I'd be sleeping if I wasn't streaming. It's so boring that I would actually be sleeping if I wasn't streaming. That's how boring it's getting. It's boring because it's predictable. It's boring because the same matches over and over and over again. Why in the world would anybody want to see John Cena versus Goldust? John Cena comes out and does his promo, which his promos are always good. John Cena comes out and does his promo, and then all of a sudden Goldust comes out. Really? Like, he takes his once in every quarter of the year match that he has, and he goes up against John Cena. Come on, man. I mean, jeez. It's so dumb. And of course you know who's going to win the match. Oh, yeah, Goldust is going to beat John Cena. Yeah, right. Okay. And they now it's just praise Goldust. Well, he's one of the best ever because he's been up against some of the best ever. Blah blah blah. Like, come on, man. You know, it's crazy. I don't really understand. I don't understand the methods the writers have. If they're just thinking about after WrestleMania and they're just taking each Raw and SmackDown and they're just kind of going day by day, trying to get people to sign some contracts and stuff like that, and then to extend contracts or something in order for them to do something because it's so predictable. It's unbelievable. I you know so I'm gonna stop talking about it because I can go on like that forever and just keep on saying the same shit over and over again about how predictable it is. So we'll move on to SmackDown. SmackDown was a lot of talking. The first 12 minutes of the show was Ruby Riott talking to Charlotte Flair about how privileged she is and about all that kind of stuff, and how ever since she became champion, then we formed this Riot Squad because we want to take you out of being champion and blah, blah, blah. Like, you haven't heard that a million times. From every other superstar that's fought against Charlotte Flair. You're so privileged because your daddy is Ric Flair and he's a 2-time Hall of Famer and blah, blah, blah. Like, come on, man. Come up with something original. But it was 12 minutes, I timed it, of her just standing out there talking for 12 minutes. And then, they had the Riot Squad come in. They had a good transition, though. The Riot Squad came in, and I was about to attack Charlotte. Wasn't about to attack Charlotte Flair, but then Bobby Roode came out, and he was going to be a guest commentator for Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton match. Let's see Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton one more time. How many times have we seen this in the past, year? Come on, man. I mean, again, it's predictable as hell. It's not fun to watch the same people fighting in the same matches over and over and over again. I love Randy Orton. He's got a ton of other people he could fight against. Why is he fighting against Jinder Mahal again? I like Jinder Mahal too. Why are you making him fight against Randy Orton? Come on. You can't have him, have it be a one-on-one match for the U.S. Championship. Bobby Roode's never fought against Randy Orton. Bobby Roode's never fought against Jinder Mahal. So why? Well, he's never fought against Randy Orton. I think he's fought against Jinder Mahal. But he's never fought against Randy Orton. So why can't it just be Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton, one-on-one match at WrestleMania, done with it. Never seen him fight before, let's do it. Perfect. A brand new match that we've never seen before. Great. That's what I'm looking for. That's what people are looking for. But they don't do it, and it's stupid. And, then they had Carmella versus Becky Lynch, which was okay. Becky Lynch won the match. Whatever. But then, after that, AJ comes out. And he starts talking for about 10 minutes of the show. So, of the 2 hours of the show, which an hour of it is pretty much the show, 20 minutes has been spent talking. So, 30% of the show, or 33% of the show has been spent talking. First it was Charlotte Flair and Ruby Riott, and now it's AJ Styles. And then he starts going on about how he's not going to complain about the championship match at WrestleMania, how it's or at Fastlane, where it's a 6-pack challenge and all that kind of stuff. John Cena beat him fair and square, blah 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 blah. And then Dolph Ziggler comes out, and and I love how the people how Dolph Ziggler just sticks, and The Miz stick to the one time where they became champions. They became world champions. Nobody predicted this was going to happen, and you beat Del Rio, and then Del Rio beat the shit out of you. I was there whenever he beat the shit out of you at the next pay-per-view. And you didn't hold that title for more than, 3 weeks? Come on, man. So, the very next pay-per-view, he won the title, or he lost the title. He didn't carry it for that long anyway, which is stupid. So, they keep on saying that same thing. Oh, I made event at WrestleMania and beat you, John Cena. This is what the Miz says, and then Dolph Ziggler comes out and says, well, I was that. Were you there whenever I beat Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw after WrestleMania and everybody cheered for me? Oh my God, that was the greatest moment of my life. And like, come on. I mean, and then so then they said, AJ's like, why don't we just do it right now? I could beat everybody, so why don't we just have a match right now? And then they have a match, and the match was really good. Two great, solid, stunning performers going at it. And there's one thing I want to go back really quick. There's one thing that AJ Styles did say that really kind of struck me a little bit. And he said, uh, everybody wants to see Shinsuke versus AJ Styles. And it's true. 100%. 100%. Do you want to see John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura? No. Do you want to see anybody else in that lineup go up against Shinsuke Nakamura? No. I want to see AJ versus Shinsuke. They better not mess it up. They better not mess it up. That's the one match I'm looking forward to WrestleMania to watch the whole way through. I want to see the entire thing because Shinsuke is a monster, and so is AJ. I want to see those two battle it out. I think that'd be great. But Dolph Ziggler and AJ Styles had that championship match, and then they did a really good job doing that. And then after they did that, then it was they were, I don't know, about 3/4 of the way through the match, and then they were both beating the crap out of each other, and then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn comes out and start beating the crap out of both of them. And then it turned into a fatal five-way match because Shane comes out and he says, oh, we're going to have a fatal five-way match between AJ, Baron, Dolph, Owens, and Zayn. Cool. So, again, a decent match, but the winner of the match was Sami Zayn. He pinned Kevin Owens. And everybody's asking, why did you pin Kevin Owens? Why did you pin your friend? Blah, blah, blah. And he basically says, because I'm the best. Because I'm the best one on the roster. I've never had any opportunities at any titles and blah, blah, blah. And he gets angry because he's never gets any opportunities on SmackDown. So he was kind of pissed about that. And so that's why he pins Kevin Owens. And then it ends. And that was the end of the show. Like, really? I mean, that's it. That was the show. Period. Seriously, if I wasn't streaming the entire time, I would have fell asleep. So that was Raw and SmackDown. I mean, that was a good 15 minutes of me talking about Raw and SmackDown. Come on. I'm just waiting for the last, for the Raw after WrestleMania, so we can actually have a good show to talk about. So we'll go into rumor roundups here a little bit, or our rumor mill a little bit, and see what a couple of the rumors that are going around are. They're saying they're still talking about Cena versus Undertaker at WrestleMania. Duh. The rumors are kind of thin this week. Honestly, there's not really too many of them. Let's see what else we got here. They're gonna have Sasha Banks versus Bayley, obviously. Looks like they're talking right now. It looks like it's gonna be it's gonna be Miz versus Rollins versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. Well, now they're saying that they might be Finn Balor or Miz versus Finn Balor versus Seth versus Elias versus Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman wins it, of course. They might not have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal anymore for not this year anyway. There's some talk about having a women's battle royal, which would be okay, I guess. Let's see what else. So I'm kind of looking at these before as I do them. Looks like the Undertaker and Cena feud is gonna start after Fastlane when she loses, or when Cena loses, when he loses. But they're trying really to avoid that stuff though. They keep on talking about Rey Mysterio and when he's gonna sign the contract, and so I know that Rey Mysterio wants to sign a contract for part time, but WWE doesn't want him to work part time. They want him to work full time, and I don't think he really wants to do that. And there's also talks about Alberto Del Rio coming back again because Vince just loves him for whatever reason. So that's a big rumor that's going around. Other than that, that's pretty much everything. I mean, that's not. I don't think there's really too much else that's really gonna be too crazy at the moment. Um, you know, Brock was at a house show, fantastic, beat the crap out of Kane, and that was pretty much it. I mean, there's not really anything else to talk about, honestly. It really stinks. So I'm hoping that in the next couple weeks there's gonna be something new that's going on and something good that's gonna happen on Raw and SmackDown because for we have to suffer through a pay per view and then three more Raws until Mania comes, and it's gonna be boring like this. So it's gonna be like half an hour recaps or like 20-minute recaps because it's boring. So hopefully they make it better because I'm hoping that they do. If they don't, then we're all in trouble. So and their attendance has been going down, the ratings have been going down. It sucks. So that's gonna do it for our episode of Full Range Wrestling Recap. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions for me this week. And for next week's episode of recap, that'd be great if you guys had a couple episodes or a couple questions for me. Let me know. See what you guys think. And thank you all for watching. Thank you all for coming. Sorry it's such a disappointing week in Raw and SmackDown for the week. But hopefully they get better. WrestleMania is coming up, so you never know. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. Please don't forget to always enjoy and have a good rest of the night. All right, bye, guys.